Quite a lot of money flowing into the fixed income market this week. So we have the Treasury bond auction for tomorrow, Wednesday. Yesterday we had some mature treasuries, about 440 billion. So I'm asking Ramat Baba, who's the chief dealer of fixed income at FBN Quest Merchant Bank, how much of this money is in the system and how does that impact the yield curve and the liquidity. So, Ramat, good morning. Coming here on this important conversation. This is your market, so bring us up to speed. Hope you had a nice night.
Yes, I did. Good morning, Wilson.
Yeah, great. So are things going as according to plans in terms of the outlook for this week?
Okay, concerning liquidity, system is actually really liquid. We saw FAC coming into the system on Friday, over 350 billion hit the system. Then for the matured bills, it's actually on Thursday. It wasn't yesterday. We have 422 billion of matured bills hitting the system on Thursday. There's a bond auction tomorrow, quite all right, with 150 billion on offer. That's 45, 50, and 55 billion for the 5, 10, and 30-year bonds, respectively. In the bond space, really, not much has been happening. That market has been pretty quiet and all that. So rates have really remained at about same levels. For the yield curve, I guess you meant that's for the treasury bills, really. That's where we've seen more activities, and it's been more in response to system liquidity in the system. We saw demand coming in, people buying the January, February, and March bills. And then there was, of course, a lot of demand for the one-year bills, specifically the 17th and the 10th of September bills. But there isn't much supply on that. People weren't offering that bill. So, of course, there were buys on it, which drove yields down about, they started trading at about 13.25% levels.
Is that the new, what you call the new level for treasuries? 13.5?
13. Okay, at the OMO auction, the 1 year has been at 13.5% levels, but in the secondary market, the 10th and 17th of September bills are trading around 13.25% levels. But then again, we're seeing the demand spilling over to the August bills because of the low supply on the September bills. There ain't much offers, like I said.
I'm trying to find out what would re-energize the Naira bond market. Any idea? What are your dealers looking out for here?
Okay, because there's no major news coming in. Nothing is really happening. No major activities from the offshore guys or from the PFA. So what we hope is that tomorrow's auction might have a bit of effect in the market. So it really depends on where rates stop at the auction. So that will guide market activities going forward. But besides that, not much is really happening.
I'm sure you get some phone calls from the offshore folks about what they are doing, why they are doing it, what they are not doing, and why they are not doing it. What are you hearing? What's your perspective on what they are saying and their mindset about our local Naira market?
I think on treasury bills, there's a bit of activity. On bonds, not much is happening, really. Not much is happening. So I guess we just need something to happen. It's not going to be liquidity. Liquidity is not going to be the game changer for the bond market, really. It has to be something even more than that. So maybe some demand coming from somewhere. On the FX side, though, we've seen a bit of flows coming in. At least we saw NAFEX closing slightly lower. So clearly that means it's been net inflow. So that's a bit of guidance to say there's no more fleeing of the offshore guys and all from the fixed income space.
Yes, Naira has been a little bit steady in terms of appreciation. Is this a blip on the radar, or this is a bit more fundamental? It's just an interplay of the market and where we move from here, considering where our FX reserves are at the moment?
I think it's just an interplay of demand and supply, really, because sometime last week we saw the rates inching slightly up because there was some demand for FX in that space. But yesterday we saw rates closing slightly lower, and that's just because of a bit of supply coming into the market. I don't think it's anything more than that, really.
So if are you looking towards the debt management office? Do you think the calendar will be a significant market event, or that could stimulate the Naira bond market? Yes.
That's for the last quarter?
Yes.
For next quarter. Yeah, it depends. The calendar, yes, might have a bit of play in the market. But of course, that's if they decide to be issuing a lot of bonds or maybe something significantly lower than market expects. Yes, that will have an impact. But if it's still going to be around something around the same 150 billion on offer that we've been seeing in the last few months, I don't think that will have any major impact.
Maybe the budget will be a stimulus for that. Looking to fund the budget. Because now you have a cabinet in place. You have a cabinet in place, and it looks like everybody's getting ready to, everybody's hitting the ground running.
Yes, but don't forget again, as the year winds to a close, activities generally slow down in the fixed income space, especially on bonds.
So has it been a very good year so far, Rama?
Yeah, pretty much, yes. It's been good. We've had some volatility at the point where the offshore guys were exiting. We saw that. And then we saw the other side when there was a rate cut in Egypt and all that. Yeah, so it's been a lot of mixed reactions so far this year. So all in, yes.
I mean, in terms of, if it's you know what my next question is. In terms of returns, do you think it's been a major play if you say, look, I would have done equity. Equity is down about 12%. This is the treasury market giving me 13.5%. If you look at inflation, if I look at exchange rate, well, I can say, well, it's been a very nice 3 quarters so far. So what's your playbook for the final quarter?
Outlook for the final quarter, we have a lot of treasury bill maturities towards this end of the year. So we expect a lot of funds coming in. And of course, we also expect that the CBN will probably be mopping up in order to not to leave so much liquidity idle. That means, of course, there might be a bit of turn. Yields might come up again slightly. Well, that's what we expect if they're going to be mopping up a lot. And then don't forget that the CBN will continue to intervene in the FX market through the retail and wholesale interventions. So, of course, that's going to take out more liquidity from the system. So, yes, we don't expect to see periods of very long, high system liquidity and all that. There's going to be a lot of liquidity swings, but that's going to be based on whatever the CBN does, their actions or whatever. And that will drive market reaction.
Very interesting. Thank you so much. We'll check in with you as the days go by. Again, we're wrapping up the Q3, so I'm sure we'll definitely get back to discuss things as we step into Q4 from October the 1st. Thank you so much, Ramat Baba.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you all being here with us via FMDQ Exchange Place. She's the Chief Dealer in charge of fixed income at FBN Quest Merchant Bank. And yesterday seemed to be not quite a good day for some of the companies on the market. Of course, we reported already what the statement from Unity Bank saying that the fire incident on the 3rd floor of his headquarters in Victoria Island was contained, localized within the floor. There was no material damage. Business is going on within the headquarters of the bank, and said they thank everyone for making sure that that fire was contained early yesterday morning, according to this Tier 2 lender reporting. But of course, in case this is also part of the news yesterday, another company which is also listed on the stock exchange, Computer Warehouse Group by the name CWG PLC, also reported a fire early yesterday morning, seen at about 10:30, almost at the same time when the fire at Unity Bank headquarters also broke out. But CWG PLC says in a statement to the stock exchange that the fire incident is one out of their warehouse or premises in Lekki Phase 1 in downtown Lagos. Here says they are still assessing the material damage caused by this fire incident, but they say thank you to everyone for making it. The building affected, according to them, was a storage unit for the company, which is into computer businesses, hardware, and all of that. They're still doing the investigation as to the cause of the fire and what the material cost is. I'm sure they will report that to the market as soon as those investigations are concluded. Thank you, everyone. Let's leave it there for today. We'll see you again tomorrow on Wednesday, the 25th.